The two teams that were in last year's grand final tangle in the preliminary final, and it's gone to a deciding Game 3. The defending champion Sturt Saints host Goodwood in a Game 3 clash for a spot in the big dance. Good afternoon, everybody. Eric Ballner calling all the action with, well, where do we start with the accolades? ABL player, Caps medalist, umpire of the year, ABL umpire, Ian Revel. He's seen baseball from all over the place, so it's very fitting that, Rev, you're here to call the game. Rev, welcome to the broadcast. What's the key to a Game 3 as a player?
For a player, for me, I believe it's going to be the pitching duel. If unfortunately, we're in Game 3 right now, and pitching is getting low. So you need your starters to get off to a good start. Getting early runs today is going to be a massive key, which will set hopefully up the whole game for you. So yeah, love to be up here. Love the Sturt baseball field. Beautiful day up here, 30 degrees.
Well, it should be an interesting pitching matchup on that theme. You've got Josh Tyndall, who entering the year was probably Sturt's number 2. Damon Arnold had a fantastic year, but Tyndall's numbers, he had a 3.6 ERA. He had a 6-2 record in his 8 games started, was used a little bit more out of the pen this season, but he's been one of the best starters in the last few years, and the reason why Sturt have won 2 championships in the last 3 seasons. He's on the mound right now. He's going against John Challenor, who we'll talk about lots when he's pitching. But yes, as far as Game 3 pitching matchups go, both teams fielding a pretty strong option.
They definitely are. As I said, this is really pushing every club if they get to the final series that your Game 3 pitches are going to be critical to where you go, whether you get through this week and get to the big dance next week, or you fall by the wayside, unfortunately. But these two teams are evenly matched. I think we're going to have a cracker day.
Both teams played 2 games yesterday in the best-of-3 series. Goodwood won Game 1 6-1, and Sturt won Game 2 7-1. They used 6 runs in the 8th inning, capitalizing off a Goodwood error. And that is how we got to this point. Josh Cakebread is going to lead things off for Goodwood. Notable in this Goodwood lineup, and we'll get to that in a second. But Jeremy Creswell out of the game today. It was a game-time decision. Hurt his hamstring in yesterday's game. And the decision was no bueno as Josh Tyndall delivers the first pitch of the game to Josh Cakebread.
Just missing outside there. Josh needs to get in front of the count all day, and as does John Challenor today.
Takes a second pitch strike. So Josh Cakebread will be followed up by Jack Bushel, who slots in to play shortstop today. A remarkable rookie season for the 16-year-old. More on him later. Just catching the edge of the plate. Riley Moore, followed by Stephen Welsh, Dylan Child, Matt Hutchings, Owen Hughes, Tom Fiebig, and Peter Pake. A lineup that has a lot of experience at the top level in this country. And Cakebread goes up the middle with a base hit. So Goodwood, who can belt the baseball maybe better than anybody in the competition, get a leadoff runner.
Yeah, you just can't underestimate Goodwood's lineup. You know, it may be aging, but they've got so much experience and they know how to do the job in these tight games. And that's just a great example right there by Josh Cakebread, pushing that one straight up the middle.
If you want to know how powerful this Goodwood lineup is, they scored 23 runs last weekend and they lost both games, but they scored 23 runs.
That was a crazy series last week against West Torrens.
Jack Bushel up to bat, the 16-year-old. In yesterday's game, they had 16 hits versus Sturt. 14 of them came against Jackson Brebner Russ, who hasn't allowed more than 2 earned runs in a start since the first game of the season, and is maybe the favorite to win the Caps medal, maybe on Wednesday night. That just shows how dominant this offense can be.
It certainly can, and I've got my money on JBR to win the Caps medal. It's going to be a close battle between him and probably Wilson Lee, even though Wilson Lee got here late this year coming back from Germany. And then, you've got Mitch Newborn, who, unfortunately, with ABL commitments, it's going to hurt him big time. But he's been the most dominant pitcher in the competition this year by far.
1 earned run in 46 innings, that place.
Yes, that's just crazy numbers.
Jack Bushel, this is his first season at the A-grade level.
And he's the product. His father, Jamie Bushel, was a great A-grade baseballer. He was a Giants baseballer as well, and he's just come through the ranks and is now starting to reap the rewards of that.
Hit .333 in his 17 games. He also got a couple Super League appearances with the Seahawks where he won Player of the Game on a couple of those occasions.
He did, and I think you'll find that Jack has won the MVP the last 2 years in the senior league. Jack fouls that one straight back.
So he can play.
He can play. He can play. He's got some good heritage in him.
It'll be a fun one to watch in terms of how he develops physically and skillfully as well.
As I said, Goodwood, unfortunately, are going to be in a situation in the next couple of years where they're going to have to rebuild. That's a good pitch there, right on the edge of the plate. Blake Halligan's pumped him out there. That's a great pitch.
You mentioned the rebuild potential. It's going to be an interesting one because, yes, they do have a lot of veteran players, let's call them, in the lineup. Your Cakebread, your Welsh, your Child, whatever. But they still got players. They got Matt Hutchings, who's still in his mid-20s.
Yep.
Peter Pake.
And that's the beauty of Ben Whitmore. He's just introduced a couple of players throughout the year just to give them a taste of A-grade baseball, and then put them in amongst the veterans as well.
Jack Bushel, Brody Heaps. There's a few players here that are working their way in the lineup.
Yep. Josh Tyndall just missing down low, just below the knee. Good call by Blake Halligan.
Riley Moore hit a home run yesterday. Former Arizona Wildcat in the NCAA, a very experienced hitter, a lot of pedigree with this guy.
Tyndall just missing outside on that second pitch. Gets behind the count. Josh Cakebread at first. 2 balls, no strikes.
About a strikeout an inning guy, Josh Tyndall, on the mound.
Yeah, Josh is just more of a ground out, pop-up sort of bloke.
Bit up high, so a good hitters count here for Riley Moore, and they have to be careful because Stephen Welsh, who's had a hell of a weekend, hell of a playoff series, is standing on deck.
And that's the drama that you have, is that you just can't ease up on any of these hitters, because you give up a walk, you give up a hit, the next bloke comes up and you've got someone of Steph Welch's caliber. Puts that one straight across the plate.
Yeah, Riley Moore was always taken on that one.
He certainly was. It's early in the game. So he'll get his pitch if he wants to.
Josh Cakebread standing over at first base. Well, it's a 5-pitch walk, so runner in scoring position for the first time today, and Stephen Welsh will come to bat. Here's a look at the infield. Dylan Ridding playing third base, Mitch Lightbody at short, Tyler Chappell at second, and Jackson Brebner-Russ playing first base. Jordan McCardle is the one catching the baseball today. Outfield left to right, Simon Atkins, Sonny Beaumont, and Harry Nucky. All 4 of the teams that are remaining in the finals, the top 4 in the regular season, they were separated by just 2 games from first to fourth. Guys, he got to play the full 30 games, which we haven't seen from Steph Welsh in a while. But yesterday he had the 2 doubles, the only extra base hits, and Goodwood's win. And it is a very friendly ballpark for left-handed bats.
It is. You've got the big fence out there that they've got to get it over there. If it hits the fence and comes back into the field of play, you've got to keep running it out.
Well, Rev, right off the top of the broadcast as Dylan Child takes Dylan Child at first, and then outfield left to right. Owen Hughes, Matt Hutchings, and Peter Pake. Riley Moore catching to this man who gives the first pitch, John Challenor. Just like Goodwood did in their half of their inning.
This could be a big hitting game today by what we're seeing right now. Just going back, yeah, John Chandler, I called his game last year in the preliminary final against Henley and Grange, and he was just outstanding for a guy. Punched it up in the air out to right field for the first out.
Dylan Ridding now up to bat. He's hitting .372 this year. That leads all regular Sturt hitters. 35 hits, 24 of them for singles. He's hit 3 home runs. He's walked only 8 times. By the way, Jordan McCardle, 29 walks this year, which is an outrageous number.
And that's just respect for Geordie, because they know he's a power hitter.
Ridding flares one out foul, and he's behind 0-2. John Challenor, a guy that fills up the strike zone. He's got 6 different pitches that he can throw. His reputation back in his heyday in the 90s when he was pitching for the Adelaide Giants was very good shot at winning the Rookie of the Year this season for the league. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be hard to beat Brandon Manzella, who hit 400 for Golden Grove, but Peter Paik has put together a phenomenal season. Here are his numbers. He hit .330 on the year, played in all 30 games. He had 18 RBIs. Peter Paik is going to put himself every opportunity to win that award.
Certainly does. 1-2 count here. Tyndall just missing inside, evens the count up at 2-2. Yeah, I had Goodwood a few times this year umpiring, and unfortunately didn't have Golden Grove that much, so I didn't get to see Manzella a great deal.
You're not Ethan it in.
That's a great breaking ball there by Josh Tyndall, striking out Paikey.
Well, that's a huge inning for Tyndall, right? He gets the fly out, the ground out, and the strikeout after allowing 3 in the first inning. Goodwood, you know better than anybody, their team he has had. On the mound, his numbers speak for themselves with a 1.79 ERA, and he allowed 5 earned runs in 3 innings pitched in his first start of the year, and he still ends up with a sub-2 ERA. Hit .356 with a bat this year. He is going to pull high in the Caps Medal Count Wednesday.
Most definitely. As I said, he's got a 12-2 record, and he's a two-way player, so when he's not pitching, he's going to be picking up votes with his hitting.
Challoner 2-0 behind. A great eye, Jackson Brebner-Russ, probably due to he spent time as a catcher. That's what he was by trade when he first started in the competition.
Bit of chit-chat going between JBR and Riley Moore, but no, that ball was down. John Challoner comes back with a strike.
He was taking that all the way.
He was.
Big-time competitor, Jackson Brebner-Russ. Won the MVP of the Grand Final Series last year because he hit and pitched game 1. It was a 13-1 game in game 1, but he pitched very well in game 1.
He did indeed.
They scored 13. They only needed 2.
Not sure if JBR was very happy with that call by Blake Hellinger, but I missed it on the monitor, but must have taken the edge. 3-2 count.
He just missed that one, too. It's gone into an awkward spot. Bushel moving back to make the play. And Jack Bushel calls off even center fielder Matt Hutchings and makes a basket catch back in center left field. This will look cool in the replay.
I reckon on the pitch, JBR might have broken that bat. But no, that's a great catch by Jack Bushel there. Calls out his center fielder. Hey, I've got this. Great catch.
Fighting the sun.
Tough catch.
Well, people love to talk about Jack Bushel. He was named on the Adelaide Giants Next Generation squad earlier this summer as a player that has the prospect as Mitch Lightbody over to Stephen Welsh. Calm, cool, collected, and my goodness, it feels so slow and easy for Stephen Welsh, doesn't it?
Mr. Reliable, and he just goes through the motions, but gets the ball over there in time and gets the out.
Take a look at the replay of this. As Challoner gets some help from his defense, allowed the first hit, and he's gone 4 up, 4 down since then. Angus Roger, second most games played of all time in modern day ABL history for the Adelaide Bite/Giants. Swings at the first pitch, right field.
That's
moving over to make the play. Josh Cakebread. So a very quick inning. We're through 2. The score remains 3-0. Well, this isn't the only game going on in the South Australian baseball world today. A whole bunch of junior finals, but what should be a great one is on at Henley and Grange. West Torrens can punch their ticket to the grand final in Game 2. Jordy Gross starting that game allows 2 runs in the first inning. Max Stagg has an RBI in it. Classic. But Henley and Grange have the bases loaded, 2 out in the bottom of the first. They have struck back Wilson Lee with the RBI, which you would, you would not really guess Wilson Lee would have an RBI, would you? That would shock everybody, wouldn't it? Just the surprise packet.
As I said, the weekend he had last weekend was just incredible.
Henley and Grange, though, they've gone all in on a premiership this year. They lost Game 1 in an epic pitcher's duel between Lee and Neuenborn yesterday, as Josh Cakebread has his second at-bat of the game, takes a pitch. So that is going to be another good one. All 4 teams, like I said, any one of those combinations you could have said would be in the grand final at the start of the season, and none would shock you. The season was so tight.
It certainly was. As I said, it was good to see Southern Districts get their finals underway last week. Didn't get through, but yeah, they haven't seen finals action for a while.
Gee, they gave it a run, didn't they?
They pushed it. They really did.
Cakebread again. That one just goes foul. Cakebread's seen the ball very, very well right now.
He's an amazing hitter. As I said, he's been around the league for a long, long time. I first met Josh back in the under-16 state team when I was a pitching coach, yes. Him and another guy by the name of King, who went on to play or get signed by a AFL club. And Josh stuck with baseball, and he's had a great career in ABL.
Did Cakebread have it even in the under-16 squad?
He was a talent. And then the year after, I think it was Creswell, and I just told my coach, I said, Creswell, he is going to be a good player.
Cakebread grounds over towards second, up in the chest of Tyler Chappell. Very reliable Tyler Chappell over at second base, makes the play, 1 down.
I'll talk about the situation with Tyndall. In the first inning, he was just leaving the ball up. Now he's starting to get down on the knee. That was a slider breaking down. Very hard to get any lift on it, and therefore he just grounds it out to Tyler Chappell.
You said that right at the top of the broadcast, that when he's at his best, he is that ground ball pitcher.
And he's not going to dominate you with pace, but he just needs to be finessed, get that ball down, get some ground-ups, get some pop-ups.
Jack Bushel up to bat. Well, a lot of people like to talk and say, oh, yeah, if you're a Sturt hitter, of course you're going to have good numbers playing at a ballpark that has a short fence. You know, the lefties go over there too. But you know what people don't talk about enough is all 3 of Sturt's starting pitchers have ridiculous numbers with sub-3 ERAs. 2 of them are sub-2 ERAs. As this goes over towards third base, it takes a weird hop, and Jack Bushel has a base hit.
That was always going to be a tough one for Dylan Riding. Just bounced in front of him. He could only throw his glove at it, hit and miss on that, and unfortunately it's got past him.
But to continue that point, Rev, if you're going to downplay Sturt's lineup, if you're a critic out there, if you're going to downplay Sturt's lineup for the ballpark they play in, then how about give some credit to the pitchers that have to pitch half their games in a hitter-friendly ballpark and have those numbers?
Exactly. As I said, you've got to be good at what you do, and they've got to keep the ball down, stop the ball from going over the fence.
And Josh Tyndall, one of those guys that for a few seasons now has put up some of the top numbers in the league. But he's behind right now 3-0, and Riley Moore and Stephen Welsh are due up, and this is a dangerous part of the lineup, and already one that's made them pay. Riley Moore walked his first at-bat, later scored on the Welsh home run.
Even in my heyday, I'd be frightened of this batting lineup.
You, Rev, the Caps medalist?
Most definitely.
Well, there's a lot of experience. You've got Cakebread, who's played 100 and some games in the ABL. Riley Moore, who's won a College World Series in the ABL. Steph Welsh, most games in Adelaide history, played for Team Australia. Dylan Child, ABL. Matt Hutchings, ABL. Owen Hughes, ABL. Tom Fiebig, ABL. Peter Paik could win the Rookie of the Year this year in the competition. Jack Bushel, he very well could be playing ABL one day.
I think he will. As I said, he's a good talent, taking after his father. 0-2.
Riley Moore watches the breaking ball dip down into the dirt.
That's a good block by Geordie. Kept that ball in front of him. Stopped Jack Bushel from stealing the base.
Keeps a runner out of scoring position.
This is almost a critical batter that he's going to have to get out here.
It changes the whole next at-bat with Stephen Welsh, doesn't it?
It does. Get him to hit into a ground ball double or get him to pop up.
Inside, so 2-2 count. Riley Moore, tough one to get out.
He's going fine on him just to try and get him to swing at a pitch that he wants him to swing at. But Riley Moore, a very good hitter.
Riley Moore hit .402 with an on-base percentage of .509 this year. That's what he's hitting right now. Those numbers include finals numbers, by the way. Hit up the middle. This could be 2. Light body flips to Chappell for 1, and they've turned 2.
Just what the doctor asked for. That's what you needed. That's what you needed.
The Sturt defense, which has been reliable all season long, gets a key ground ball. Light body off the hop. Chappell had to get rid of that in a hurry. And Jackson Brebner-Russ getting down and making the play. Keeps runs off the boards. And now when Stephen Welsh comes up, there's going to be nobody on base.
There's your answer. There's your answer.
Well, Rev, Riley, this is going to be one of the most intriguing parts of the Caps Medal Night for me, is the team of the year, because somebody's going to miss. Let's just look at the catcher position.
Yeah.
Who would you choose? I just want to know, because you have 3 options.
You do.
You got Riley Moore. He hit .400 this season and had a great year. He's among the leaders in RBIs and home runs. You have Austin Gallagher, who hit about .350 this year, but he had 16 home runs, 6 more than your next. But then you have Tom McGarry, who had 46 RBIs, which is 10 more than the next closest. One of those is going to be named the catcher. You can't be all 3, so who do you name?
It's going to be the toughest decision, as I said, with the numbers that those guys have put up. I was actually shocked to see Tom McGarry's numbers with the 46 RBIs. Very good aggressive hitter, been over to college, and then he's come back now, and he's had a really good year. But you can't take anything away from Austin Gallagher.
Or Riley Moore. Okay, so if you name one of them, let's say you name Riley Moore, the catcher, but then you go Tom McGarry, the RBI leader, and the Austin Gallagher, the home run leader. Now they're eligible for DH.
Exactly.
But they might not be named the DH because there's some other hitters out there that are in the mix.
Yeah.
But one of those guys, they can't both be named the designated hitter.
No, as I said, whoever has to pick that team is going to be a tough call. Not a job that I'd like to do.
It's going to be tough. I think Stephen Welsh is going to have it nailed down at 3rd for the season he had. Creswell was statistically dominant at short. I think that's going to get him across the line.
And hitting well.
Yeah. And he doesn't make many mistakes in the field, although he made one yesterday.
Yes.
At second base, it's Josh Cakebread's position to lose, but Tyler Chappell's going to be in the mix for that. Koki Yanazawa at Henley and Grange had a big year.
The Creswell Cakebread combination has been going on for years, and it's just year after year. Both quality players, and you can understand why they're in multiple Team of the Years.
And it's tough because then you have a hard done-by player like Brody Ariola, for instance. He had over .400 this year. He's not eligible in the outfield, didn't play enough games. He played short. He might miss out, and then that would put him in contention for DH. It's a tough job to fill, but this lined right over to left field. And Simon Atkins flies out to start the inning. And if you're watching the stream, leave your comments below who's going to be in the team of the year. I don't know the team of the year. I have no idea. I can name who I would think would be in there, but that's such a tough decision.
And it's always a bit harder for me. As I said, I'm an umpire, so I only see these guys a few times a year, so it is difficult. But then when you see the numbers that Tom's been putting up, the numbers that Austin's been putting up, and then the numbers that Riley's been putting up, that's a tough shot.
Outfield will be a tough battle, too.
Yep.
As Sonny Beaumont comes up to bat. Brendan Manzella hit around the .400 mark. Jack Partington had 25 stolen bases. Harry Nucky, arguably the most consistent player on Sturt this year. What's crazy is Jordan McCardo at a .500 on-base percentage.
Yeah.
Might not have a spot on it. It's just crazy. There's so much competition.
It's great to see. It really is. The competition's thriving.
Sonny Beaumont takes it inside.
3-1 count.
Good hitters count for him. And it's a walk.
That must just miss the outside edge.
So the first base runner since the first batter of the game for Sturt is Sonny Beaumont, who works a 5-pitch walk. Brings to the plate Tyler Chappell. Good season he had. He hit .276 with the bat, but defensively he's one of the better second basemen in the competition. Has some speed.
He's been rock solid at second base. John Challenor just missing down on that first pitch. Sturt need to get something happening right now.
A really solid number 9 hitter for Sturt. He does things in a few different ways. Think back to a game versus Henley and Grange earlier in the year that we did. Sturt didn't have much going with offense, and Tyler Chappell laid a, with bases empty, just a bunt down the first base line and hustled down there, got on base later, scored.
And that's what any scout wants to see. You know, if you put the ball in play, run a hard 90, anything can happen.
He's also had some time with the Adelaide bite, but more as a pitcher.
This is an interesting time at bat. We're sitting here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Tyler Chappell taking a few pitches here. John got behind the count. Are they trying to use John's pitch count here a little?
Chappell gets a piece of it. This one to right field. This one's back. It's not going to have enough distance. Peter Paik moves under it. Sounded good off the bat, though, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
You were excited.
I was almost going to get off my seat there, but unfortunately, yeah, Tyler Chappell just doesn't have that big hitting power. He needed to flatten that out, get a base hit, maybe get Sonny Bowman over the 3rd base, but yeah, it just flies out to right field on that one.
Harry Nucky up to bat. He had a hit in his first at bat right up the middle. Another player that's really been impressive this season, just so consistent, especially at the top of the lineup for this Sturt side.
And Harry comes from great pedigree. His father, Jamie Nucky, played up here at Sturt. I was lucky enough to play a lot of games against him and a lot of games with him, and he was just an absolute legend of the Sturt Baseball Club.
Runner trying to go on the steal. It's a good throw in there, and he's called out. We're going to get a look at that. It looked like they bobbled the take a little bit into the dirt. It was a good throw, though, from Riley Moore. Let's take a look at the replay. What a throw. Very close. Did he slide under it? That's the question.
I reckon he's got his hands under. Would have just liked Payne to have been a little bit further around to get a better view of that play. Josh has had to get that ball and then come down, but I reckon Sonny's got his hands under. But hey, umpire only gets one look at it, and that's what we've got to understand as spectators and players. That we get one look. And he's seen what he's seen, so...
Either way, a great throw from Riley Moore. It's 3-0. We've played 3. We'll be back in about 25 seconds. Stephen Welsh comes to the plate. It's a 3-0 Goodwood lead, and off the bat of this man. And he swings at the first pitch. Back, right field, to the wall, running out of room, but just enough to make the catch, Harry Nucky. A key crucial out as Stephen Welsh saw a pitch that he wanted early on. Dylan Child up to bat, takes a pitch inside. He struck out his first time up. Dylan Child had a very solid season. How are these numbers for him? As he hits one hard and that one goes foul. Hit .377 this year with 2 home runs and 20 RBIs. This top part of the lineup in there when they're at full strength: Cakebread 381, Creswell 450, Riley Moore 402, Stephen Welsh 361, Dylan Child 377, Matt Hutchings 388, Owen Hughes 348, Peter Paik 333. and Jack Bushel 333. All of them over 300. This one to left field, and this one finds a gap, and it rattles up against the wall. So Dylan Child will step into second base with a double, and it's another runner in scoring position for Goodwood. So Matt Hutchings, with all of his 22 RBIs, just another team relentless with runs batted in this year. 10 players with at least 20 RBIs on this team. 10. You can only start 9 in a starting lineup. Peter Pake with 18, just behind the mark. So 11 guys with 18 plus RBIs. That includes Rickson Wingrove, who only played in 14 games and had 20 RBIs. This is punted in the air and caught by Josh Tyndall for a crucial second out. So a fly out from Welsh, double from Child, and now Hutchings bunts right back to the catcher.
Instead of taking a little break there, unfortunately, Matt Hutchings couldn't get that ball on the ground and popped it straight back up to Josh Tyndall for the second out.
Owen Hughes up to bat. Another big season for him. He'll pull some votes in the middle stretch. He got hot, especially in late January, early February.
He's not one of those notable players, but he just keeps digging away, grinding away, and gets his hits.
Trying to catch the runner back. Jordan McCardle gunned it back down there, but sliding back in is Dylan Child. Rev, we were talking about Team of the Year before. One that we missed that isn't eligible because he only played 14 games. He missed it by 1 game. Rickson Wingrove at first base had 20 RBIs in 14 games, hit .420, had an on-base percentage of over 500. Started the year 1 for 20, as he'll remind you as well, so he got hot.
He's just got so much charisma, that guy, and he's a talented player, and that's why he's been picked up and he's in the Philadelphia organisation. He's back over there this year, and yeah, he's had to go back a bit early.
He says you have a voice of an angel, by the way.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, no, Rickson and I do get on really well. You know,
you've had some animated chats before.
we stir the pot a bit, but it's all in jest. But no, he's a quality player.
Owen Hughes battling away, 1-1 count versus Tyndall. Allowed that home run to Stephen Welsh, but he's been pretty solid since then. Catches, ball just goes a little bit outside.
Just want to go back to the pitch before that got away from Josh Tyndall, and Geordie couldn't get to it, and it's hit the backstop, and the beauty of this backstop, you just can't afford to steal a base.
Hard hit ball, right field again, and Harry Nucky will watch this one hang up. He makes the play. Nucky's been busy out in right field. That's 2 this inning and 4 for the game that he's caught, and another one went over his head, over the fence, and that's been the difference in this game. It's 3-0 in the middle of the third. Batter's just missing, but this is a left-handed bat's dream day today. Not a lot of wind, hot, the ball carrying, elimination game. You love it.
I didn't mind pitching up here, and I was one of those guys that used to bust guys in on their hands, so they just couldn't get that extension and that power to put it over the right field fence. My number 1 pitch was my slider. It broke a long way, and you know, that just jams it on their hands. So couldn't get it over the fence, or not that often. But I do remember a preliminary final up here against Sturt. I was playing for Glenelg. Dave Carter.
Versus Sturt, okay.
Yeah, I was playing for Glenelg. I was about to win the Caps medal. Didn't know it at that point. Had a game up here, and a guy by the name of Dave Carter, very good hitter, left-hander.
Another former Adelaide Giant.
He certainly is. Had him on toast for the whole game. Got me late in the game. Put me out.
No.
Yeah. I was shattered. 6-0 up in the ninth, and we lost.
Oh, Rev.
But then again, there's a
Not
story.
That you remember it.
There's a story. There's a story I'll tell you about Nathan Davison, and he probably hate me for talking about it.
Oh, I want to hear it.
We'll get into it at some stage.
Harry Nucky's up to that, followed by Jordan McCardle and Dylan Redding. Key part of the lineup. It's been 9 up, 9 down for Sturt. They do have a hit and a walk, but Dylan Child made that great diving play in the first inning where he literally caught the ball in a line drive and fell on the bag for the double play. And then Riley Moore threw a runner when Sonny Beaumont tried to steal second to end the last inning.
As I said, Sturt have just got to keep plugging away, get their chances, take their opportunities. That's a good take there by Harry Nucky. That ball's up.
the rare moment where Harry Nucky finished the last inning at the plate, starts the inning at the plate here.
Exactly.
And he swings by John Challinor, who throws one hard and up high.
Yeah, big sigh by Harry Nucky. He's probably disappointed with himself. He should have let that go. He would have been a 3-1 count right now. But he's got a 2-2 count to deal with.
And John Challinor with a good pitch. Just drops in there and stays inside that zone.
Froze Harry Nucky on that pitch. That's a great breaking pitch. And that's John Challinor's bread and butter. That breaking ball still hasn't gotten any worse.
He works really, really quickly, doesn't he?
He does. He got that and when you're having a good game, you want to get a pace. So it's up to the batters then to slow that pace down, break it up a bit. And that's what Geordie McArdle's doing right now. He's making John wait. John wouldn't be happy.
McArdle up to bat. Rev, you were working as McArdle takes a pitch inside, the grand final series between Goodwood and Sturt last season, correct?
Yes.
Who had the plate in game 2? Can you remember? It wasn't you. I can remember that. Or maybe because I remember, and we'll get to the story in a second, as this one a little bit inside. It was the first inning. John Challinor started that game in game 2. Goodwood needed to win. And after the first at-bat, whatever it was, Challinor walked up and had a stern word with the umpire.
Yes, it was Payne Souter. I just had a chat today about that situation.
Yeah, what did he say? What happened in those moments?
It wasn't a moment that John was having a crack at Payne. It was John having a crack at Jordan McArdle for taking his time. And that's Geordie's job. And he did it so well, and it upset John, and you know, history now says that it worked.
And Jordan McArdle walks there. Now, would that be a bit of gamesmanship from Geordie, too? Because John Challinor, if you're watching him now, he gets the ball and he throws it. He wastes no time at all getting his pitches. Geordie likes to take his time. He likes to find some rhythm.
I've been umpiring a lot of games, and Geordie has his own technique, his own way of doing things, and he's not one of the worst.
First pitch finds the edge, and John Challinor locating right now. You can see the expression on Dylan Ridding's face after that. That wasn't one of, oh, come on. It was, wow.
John wouldn't have been happy about giving up a walk. He loves to attack pitchers, batters, sorry. And he's coming at Dylan Ridding right now. 1-1.
McArdle walks so often. 28 walks.
He knows his zone. He knows his zone very, very well.
He only played, or 29 walks, sorry. He played 27 games this season. 527 on base percentage, leads the team among qualified hitters. Rickson Wingrove, 552 on base percentage. He walked 13 times in his 14 games. So not the same ratio for Rickson Wingrove. Just under 1 a game. Geordie just over 1 a game. Sorry, Rickson. Geordie just got ya.
John Challinor was just pounding the zone here, and unfortunately Dylan Ridding's just rolled over on that one and taken it foul. 2-2 count.
Ridding hits one hard towards center field. It's carrying back, leaping up. He can't make the play. It's gone by Matt Hutchings. So that'll advance Jordan McArdle to third. A ball that was laced, maybe misread a little bit from Matt Hutchings in center field, and Sturt are threatening for the first time today.
Great call there, Eric. And I reckon that Matt Hutchings take a few more steps. Did he know where the home run fence was? Was he worried about it? And that's why he's taken that leap. Take a couple more steps and he takes that ball.
Well, Jackson Brebner-Russ.
This is a big time at bat right now.
If you ask any player on Sturt who's going to win the Caps medal this year, they'll tell you this man. That's up for debate, but there's not much of one. There's only a couple players that will be able to contend with his numbers, and what a moment he has.
And that's the beauty of being a two-way player, as I said before. Pitches.
Just lays off of one. 2-0 count. Good hitters count here for Jackson Brebner-Russ. And he's going to make two. He cashes in the first run of the game. Runner will hold up at second, but Jackson Brebner-Russ has an RBI, and it's 3-1.
And that's just that little window that opened up. Dylan Ridding put that ball over Matt Hutchings' head. All of a sudden, JBR comes up, hits a ball out to left field, scores a run. Now we've got a game on our hands.
Sturt can string together hits, and they can put up big innings.
That was a good swing by JBR then.
Mitch Lightbody up to bat. Yesterday it was 1-1 in the 8th with 2 outs, and then somehow Sturt made it a 6-run inning. Won the game 7-1. Last week in game 3, they were behind most of the game to Southern Districts, behind 2-0, and then a couple back-to-back big innings. And Sturt pulled ahead. They can put up numbers in a hurry.
Yeah, Harry Nucky put one out, hit a grand slam last week.
Mitch Lightbody.
That's a good time at bat right here by Mitch Lightbody. John's just got behind the count 2-0. This is going to be a critical pitch right here.
Double play ball is in effect, but a big base knock would give Sturt the lead. 3 balls, though, coming up for Mitch Lightbody. Is it a free hit? Are you necessarily taking all the way here?
Only certain players can have that ability to be a 3-0 swing at the ball, and that's a Geordie McCardle, a Rickson Wingrove. As I said, Mitch I don't think was ever going to be swinging at that, but the danger moment right now is if Mitch gets a walk, Angus Roger,
he's hit a grand slam in the finals already.
Can be dangerous.
Well, Lightbody, I think, was trying to sell that.
Yeah.
Full count. Huge pitch coming up here. John Challenor, 46 years old, battling away in an elimination game, a preliminary final. 1-1 in the series, 3-1 in the game. Reaches underneath, moving back. Child makes the play. Infield fly was called anyways.
That's a good call by Blake Halligan. Unfortunately, yeah, Mitch Lightbody's just reached for that ball. Had to swing at it. And John gets that second out, a cheap out.
Angus Roger has 6 home runs this year, 24 RBIs in his 24 games played. He's started to heat up in the last few games of the year and in the finals. He had surgery in the first part of the year, missed the first chunk, had to find his rhythm again, but he's starting to get hot. Hit a grand slam last weekend. As
I said, you just cannot afford to miss a pitch on Angus Roger because he can hurt you big time. Has power.
Mr. Sturt has been around this club for a long time, was part of those teams that missed the finals for so many years. They hadn't won a final in like 20 years or something like that, and then they finally broke through. This is going to be a ground ball. Bushel makes the easy play over to second. So Sturt threatened, but they only score 1. So John Challenor gets 2 soft contacts, and that's the difference.
That is the difference. Mixed in between there was a couple of hard hits, but the most important one was the Mitch Lightbody at bat. John got behind the count. John fought back hard and then got him on a cheap little pop-up for an infield fly. 4
down, 5 to go. Rev and Eric back with you after this. Well, Goodwood might have just dodged a little bit of a bullet there. They had runners on first and second. JBR did cash in one of the runs. They had the walk and 2 straight singles, but that's all they could manage. And Goodwood just leaning up against the ropes a little bit, but they're still up in front. 2 runs and in pole position to book a ticket to the grand final.
Yeah, that time at bat, I'll keep going back with Mitch Lightbody. John got behind the count and then fought his way back and got that cheap out.
Sturt, by the way, I'm just getting word, have won their 3rd premiership of the weekend. The 17-2s winning the grand final. As Feebig takes a loopy swing through that one. So they've won a minor league today. They won yesterday. They won a Division 7 grand final. They've got their women's Div 1 later on today. You will be streaming that game after. So Sturt already with 3 premierships. That's tied for most of any club so far with Henley and Grange.
They're in a very successful period right now.
They are, for all levels. Mitch Lightbody, what a take.
That ball's just bounced up so beautifully for Mitch Lightbody. And Mitch has just got such speed that he makes those plays look so easy.
Wow. This will look cool on the replay, I reckon.
Thomas Phoebe would be spewing about that bounce that was given to Mitch Lightbody. Fed right into his glove.
Peter Paik up to bat. Top of the lineup and bottom of the lineup kind of contrasting right now. As Paik grounds one. It's a tough spot. Lightbody charging on. Has to pick it up. Fire, and he makes another nice play. It's Mitch Lightbody's inning right now.
And that's a harder play to make than you actually look on the screen there. You know, Dylan Redding's come across in front of him. Mitch has kept his composure and just fires that ball over to first base.
Mitch Lightbody's 2 for 2 in this inning. But now the bottom 4 in the lineup for Goodwood are 0 for 8. The top part, they have all the hits. They have that home run. Everybody's been on base. One of them who scored is Josh Cakebread. But Josh Tyndall's settled down really, really well since giving up that home run to Stephen Welsh.
Certainly has. Bit of a nervous start in the first innings, but he's fought back real well.
He's got through just over 4 innings since that point, and he's only allowed just a couple base hits, no walks. Only struck out 1 batter since that moment, but that's okay. This again, another hard hit ball. That finds an alley down the right side. Cakebread will easily hustle in for 2. He slides in. He might not have even needed to do that. Either way, second hit of the day for the clutch Josh Cakebread, and it's a runner in scoring position.
A veteran of the Goodwood Baseball Club, and he just continually just gets hit after hit after hit. That's the quality of the bloke.
Jack Bushel up to bat. Yeah, Josh Cakebread was on our In the Bullpen show previewing what the finals would be, and he was out there with Nick Hutchings, and Cakebread admitted he doesn't know what it's like to not play finals. He played on a very successful stretch with Port, then he moved to Goodwood, who are in the middle of another very successful stretch. He's been in the finals, he was saying, every year since like 2006 or something like that.
That's crazy, crazy numbers. It's almost like he's expected to play in finals every year.
Well, he helps his team get there, that's for sure.
He does indeed. Getting hits like that.
We got to get the numbers of how many Team of the Years he's made at second base. There'd be a few of them.
I think he'd have to get another cupboard just for all the awards.
He always polls very highly in Caps medals. He always seems to crack that top 10. If he was a two-way player, he'd probably be right there. But that shows the caliber right there, that he just keeps consistently getting votes.
And half that battle with being an umpire is that he respects you as an umpire, and there's mutual respect. He very rarely gets angry with a call. He accepts it, and sometimes that just sits well with an umpire. And hey, Josh Cakebread picked up 2 hits. Didn't have a crack at me today.
Votes.
Votes. We're a creature of habit.
Up the middle. Yeah. This one might have eyes. A diving effort from Chappell, but Jack Bushel in a place start for Jeremy Creswell is driven in a run. And with 2 outs nonetheless.
That's hurt Sturt right there. Needed to get an out. Can't afford to let this game get away from him, and that's just another run that's just going to hurt.
This kid keeps doing it in big moments.
And sometimes that's just being around a team that Goodwood are, that it just brings you up to their standard, and he does it all the time. Riley
Moore will come up to bat. So back-to-back hits for Goodwood, both 2 outs. The extra bases from Cakebread prove vital. And it's a 4-1 game.
And they've done a good thing with Jack where he is in the lineup. You know, they've put him between Cakebread and Riley Moore, and it's like, hey, go out there and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, what a good spot for a 16-year-old kid to be.
There you go.
Moore makes it 3 hits in a row. Bushel will halt at second, but this top part of the lineup again doing some damage.
Riley Moore, predominantly a good fastball hitter, and unfortunately, Josh has just had that pitch up a little bit and enabled Riley to get his hands through, and he's punched it straight back up the middle.
The top 5 in the lineup, by the way, have accounted for all of their runs. They're a combined 7 for 12. They've got a walk as well. 7 for 12 with a walk, a home run, and now 3 straight hits. Cakebread's got 2 hits. Bushel's got 2 hits. Moore with a walk and a hit. And Stephen Welsh, they call him the sheriff. Up to bat, he's got a home run that's brought him 3.
Theoretically, you've basically got 8 for 12, and that's just huge numbers. Very hard to compete or to hold that. Josh Tyndall gets behind the count here.
Goodwood have played, and as a runner tries to get back towards second, just testing out Jordan McCardle. Goodwood have played in the last 2 grand finals that we've played in terms of series. We had one canceled because of COVID that Kensington were awarded the premiership for because they were the minor premiers.
Yep.
But Goodwood have played in the last 2 grand finals, but they were both against Sturt.
Yeah, as I said, Sturt are the up-and-coming team. Goodwood are just that team that just keeps getting into final series.
Actually, they might have played 3. They might have played before Goodwood versus when they won. They beat Port Adelaide.
I reckon you could be right.
And if they're not in the grand final,
Was that Glenelg?
no,
The Port Adelaide series.
No, they beat Glenelg beat Woodville. In the time that I've been here, I'll try to remember them all. The first year I was here is Tyndall goes.
That's a good pitch there by Josh Tyndall.
There always seems to be a trend here in baseball in South Australia of teams that make the grand final and lose in back-to-back years, because it was Kensington that beat Woodville at Kensington in my first year when I was here. And then the next year, Woodville at the first year at West Beach, they lost to Glenelg. Wes Romer was the key star in that one.
He was.
Evan LeBlanc played for that team as well. And Stephen Welsh takes the pitch. It's called strike. 3 straight hits, scores 1. And it's a 4-1 lead.
Josh Tyndall gets Stephen Welsh to freeze on that slider. That's a good pitch on the knee. Great call by Blake Halligan.
Yeah, so in 15, we're just going to walk through this whole journey with people. We could probably just Google this, but it's fun to walk through the journey. 15 was Kensington. They beat Woodville. In 16, it was Glenelg.
Beating Woodville.
They beat Woodville. I got to work back to make sure we're all good. In 19, 20, and 21. So 21 was Sturt. They beat Goodwood. 20 was Kensington because they won in the COVID year.
Yep.
In 19 was Sturt. They beat Goodwood. In 18 was Goodwood, and they beat Port Adelaide.
West Torrens.
And in 17 was West Torrens with Jordan McCardle on that team and
Correct.
Curtis Mead.
Correct, yes.
And they beat Port Adelaide. So we've gone Woodville lose in the grand final, Woodville lose in the grand final, Port lose in the grand final, Port lose in the grand final, Goodwood lose in the grand final, Goodwood lose in the grand final. So the trend of 2s is over. So it means one of 2 things. If Goodwood get in there, they're going to win the grand final, right? Or they don't get there at all.
Exactly. As I said.
And then whoever loses next weekend is going to lose back-to-back.
And
that's just how things work.
And that's a stat that Goodwood wouldn't want to hear right now.
No. But if Sturt get to the grand final and win it, you can call it a dynasty. Winning 3 out of 4 final series, 3 straight final series, 3 out of 4 years named as premiers, you can officially anoint them.
And I'm not going to be critical of Kensington. They finished minor premiers in 2020, and unfortunately COVID shut that series down.
You would have loved to see them get a chance to win the series, right?
And then to see if Sturt may have been a chance to win that series, and then all of a sudden, yes, that is a dynasty.
That was a dangerous Kensington team. I remember they had Chase Cunningham that was just mowing people down that season.
Unbelievable hurler.
Tom Fitzgerald, Greg Moselle, and a leadoff bunt attempt from Simon Adkins. What a play by Challenor. He gets across. He made an attempted play. That was high on the report card for the bunt, high on the report card from the effort from Challenor.
Simon Atkins, massive speed, and put that ball down. John Challenor's got to the ball quick enough, but just the pace of Simon Atkins has got up the line.
Good diving effort from Chunky. Sonny Beaumont.
Steph Welch is shading here. They might be looking at doing it back-to-back.
Yeah, just trying to advance the runner. He goes down the first base line. It'll be an easy tag out, but a very easy way to advance the runner. So some situational awareness here from head coach Tom Winter. They're at the bottom of the lineup. They have a lot of power guys at the top part, not necessarily the bottom, So maybe try to manufacture a run right now.
That's what they're doing, exactly, Eric. Good call.
Tyler Chappell flew out to right field in a very good first at-bat.
Possibly would have liked Sonny Beaumont just to put that bunt down the third baseline rather than he's just giving himself up on an easy out.
Grounded back up the middle. Challoner going to hold the runner. He'll make the easy play to first. So they've got contact. It's been 3 pitches, 3 plays of action so far this inning. Harry Nucky will come back up to bat. I am going to take a look at the pitch count in just a second here. Can't be that high, though, for John Challoner.
Very, very economical. He's just got 2 outs and 2 pitches.
61 pitches here as we're 2 outs in the 5th.
And somehow John Challoner does that all the time. He gets himself into a little bind and then bang. 2 outs, 2 pitches. 2 outs, 3 pitches. Incredible.
He pitched in game 1 yesterday in the morning. Not much, though. He pitched 1 2/3 innings. And John Challoner pitched 22 pitches in that time. So I think it's 150 or 160 is the max over a weekend. So either way,
150.
Either way, the math says he can go 125 in this game. He can't go more than 125 in a game.
And that's just like a one-day outing.
15 strikes of the 22 pitches he threw yesterday, by the way.
Wow. Occasionally, you know, he's going to get tagged because he's so consistent at throwing strikes. Batters know that he's going to put the ball over the strike zone.
Well, this is a big at-bat because if Nucky can get on, Jordan McCardle's going to have 2 to cash in. And just all day, batters have been just getting a little bit under that pitch, haven't they?
They have indeed.
Full count. Runner will go. A chance to cash in a run for Harry Nucky.
Can Sturt get Jordan McCardle to the plate?
Nucky over towards third. Stephen Welsh gathers across the diamond. Stephen Welsh, my goodness. So calm.
He's just so relaxed. Just lets the ball come to him, fields it, and he knows how to throw that ball. He's done it 1,000th time and just gets it over there to Dylan Child for the 3rd out.
We're over halfway there. Goodwood lead by 3. 6th inning coming up. Well, after a rough first inning for Josh Tyndall, he's really settled down. Both pitchers since that point have allowed just the 1 run, but Goodwood, the difference is from that Stephen Welsh 3-run bomb back in the first inning. In this best-of-3 series, that's tied 1-1. Update from around the grounds. We've just ended the 3rd inning. Henley and Grange have put a run up in each of their innings, but they trail 4-3 to West Torrens. In your around the grounds update, Max Stagg, he's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. He just had the go-ahead RBI. This kid is ridiculous, Max Stagg. He had both the go-ahead home runs in West Torrens wins last week. Meanwhile, top to bottom, lineup producing for Henley and Grange right now. Koki Yanazawa and Phil Acosta had a couple hits to cut that lead back to 4-3. It's a must-win game for Henley and Grange.
Got to go all out in that game there.
They certainly do, as Dylan Child, who has a double already in this game, comes up to bat. Henley and Grange would be very disappointed if they didn't at least get to a grand final this year, but West Torrens would also be very disappointed if they didn't get to a grand final, so there's something that's got to give. Sometimes
you just got to have a bit of luck out there, and it'll be the situation where, yeah, Henley would be just ropeable, you know, been strong, been up the top all year, and sometimes a pitcher will throw a game and you just can't do anything about it. And then you'll drop another game.
Towards third, Riddick makes the play, one down. Both these teams, though, Goodwood and Sturt, they'd be pretty disappointed if they didn't make the grand final, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. As I said, mate, Sturt minor premiers.
They've won the championship last year.
Yeah.
Looking to win 3 and 4.
Yes, they've lost a couple of players, but they've brought in a couple of players, and those players have stepped up. Not the power in their lineup, but, yeah, got good speed.
Minor premiers for a reason. They won 15 of 16 down the stretch in just boat race teams.
They were hot during January and February. They were white hot.
Feels like a good time to get hot when you have those midweek games because you can just continue that love.
And you can just all of a sudden you can just drop a couple of games because Tuesday night games, you've got to get to the game. All of a sudden, oh, we're 3 runs down in the first innings. Oh, we're only playing 7 innings. Game's gone.
This game a 9-inning game. By the way, this a hard hit ball back towards left field. They're having a look. It hits the top of the wall. Matt Hutchings, who was 0 for 2 entering that at bat, laces one, and it almost went, but he's now standing on second base. And that's the first hit from somebody in the bottom half of the lineup.
Good to see. He got good extension on that pitch, and yeah, just had enough on the ball. Not enough to clear the fence, but just to get it over the left fielder's head into the fence. And Matt's got good speed and good stand-up double.
So what can Owen Hughes do? Hutchings taking a big lead, and Tyndall is just looking at him. And Hutchings looking right back before Tyndall will just reset. And Owen Hughes having a good laugh at the plate.
Yeah, and in the end, Blake Halligan had enough. He called time on that. That's a crazy lead he's got out there at second base.
It's huge. They're not really holding him, though. Chappell is playing quite a distance off back at second, and Mitch Lightbody, I mean, if Chappell's not holding him, it's almost a free pass for Hutchings to go as far as that shortstop. But Chappell...
And that just puts pressure on Josh. He's always going to be worrying about him.
Little cat and mouse game as Hughes fouls this away, brings it to 2 strikes.
It certainly is.
Tyler Chappell, I think, is the one to watch if you're watching this game around and on a big wide shot.
As I said, right now, Mitch has just moved over a bit more, so it's going to be up to Tyler Chappell to keep a check on Matt Hutchings, because Owen's going to be pulling the ball here.
Ball goes up high.
Good call there by Jack Treadray. Blake Halligan, tough one to have to call. Went up to his first base umpire for confirmation, and Jack Treadray said no, he didn't go through, which is a good call.
You can feel the magnitude of these at-bats as the game has progressed, can't you?
The tension is just building right here, right now. It's almost like everyone knows that there's a moment that could happen right now that could break the game. Goodwood's way. Oh.
Big pitch from Tyndall that Hughes went fishing for, and it's a crucial second out.
Yes, Owen Hughes would be very disappointed with that. Pitch was always going to be out of the zone, and yeah, as you said, Owen's gone fishing on that one.
Well, 3 runs feels very gettable for a Sturt team that can put runs up in a hurry. They'll try to chase Challenor from the game and try to make something happen. But 4 is certainly still gettable, but it starts to feel like, ooh, Goodwood's in real control here.
At the moment they are, yeah, but yeah, they've got to start applying some pressure on the scoreboard after this innings.
Goodwood have a grip on the game, but they don't have control of the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, yes. As I said,
they're in command.
The big number for me right now is that John Challenor is going to go the 9 innings because his numbers just tell you that he's got enough pitches to get him through.
And that would be huge for Goodwood.
Sturt have got to change their approach. But the problem is that John just keeps throwing strikes, so all of a sudden you've got to swing because he's throwing strikes.
Fiebig had a big season. He played mostly in Division 2 this year, although kind of up and down between the two of them. He pulled very highly in that Division 2 count.
Yeah, he's got some good friends over here at Goodwood, and he's a father now, and that fits in well with the Goodwood culture.
Chopper to Chappell, makes the play over to first and retires the side. But yeah, Fiebig's in the top 5 of the Division 2. That was announced last week, the senior award winners, the Caps medal happening on Wednesday. So Fiebig's going to be a shot. If you're in the top 5, you're a shot at winning that top 2, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. I'm not going to be attending this year because it's a stand-up show, and people probably don't know that I've just had back surgery.
Rev, there's some tables there. There'll be some chairs. Trust me, I'm the one hosting it.
I decided a couple of weeks ago to give this one a miss. Just want to make sure I rest up. I'm getting a little older, so I need to look after the body.
Well, I think, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but I'm going to announce it, and then I'll just disappoint people if it's not the case. I believe we're live streaming it because there's a lot of people that aren't going to be able to attend because of COVID contacts and close protocols and a few other reasons. So I think we will be broadcasting it just so we can make sure that people do get to see what happens with the count. I don't know if it's the whole night or just like some of the key awards towards the end of it. So the women's caps and the men's caps are the big ones. I think that's the case. I'm going to look over at our producer, David Muggleton, and just wonder, he can give me a look. Are we streaming Caps Medal this year? Are we streaming Caps Medal this year? We're streaming Caps Medal. The whole thing? The whole thing.
That's
We're
great.
streaming the whole thing, Rev. There you go. So I don't know if I'm supposed to announce that or not, but I'm going to announce it anyways because you're sitting right next to me, Rev, and I can't have you be disappointed.
This will be my second one that I've missed in since 1996 when I won it.
People are wondering on the comments section, Rev, and I know the answer to this, but we're going to let you answer it.
Yeah.
Have you retired from umpiring?
No.
Yeah, I know.
Michael Dunn made a comment on the bullpen the other day. He said, "You're a long time retired," and I'm going to take that quote and run with it. No, it's just a little hiccup. Back's been a problem. As I said, being a pitcher for a long, long time, it's definitely taken its toll on my back, plus my work.
Jordan McCardle up to bat. That's why that last out was so crucial. Think back to the 5th inning where Simon Adkins led things off with a bunt, and then Challenor goes 1-2-3 with 3 soft contact. He's done that a lot.
Yes.
But it keeps runners off the base pass for a guy that can hurt you with the bat.
And that's where John is just so good at it. Knows the batters to attack, knows what part of the lineup he needs to go after. Two-one count to Geordie McCardle. Just misses that one, fouls it straight back up. 2-2 count.
McCardle is 0 for 1 with a walk. He also flew out to right field. Soft contact has been the theme of the game for that man, John Challenor, the former Adelaide Giant back in the 90s. Now 47 years old, an ERA of just over 2, a remarkable season.
He just reminds me of a guy like Greg Maddux, where Greg Maddux never overpowered the ball, but just located, and this is what John's doing.
McCardle turns over on one. Cakebread makes the play. Goodwood off to a bit of a dream start here as we've reached the midpoints. They started the game not knowing if their star player, Jeremy Creswell, is almost a lock for Team of the Year at shortstop this year at that .463 average. They didn't know if he was going to play. He's not playing. So Jack Bushel, the 16-year-old, got the start. He's got a hit and an RBI. He's made a couple nice plays over at shortstop. And Stephen Welsh has the 3-run home run. And that's where we're at so far. Goodwood 4, Sturt 1. Challenor pitching again, an early swing from Dylan Ridding, Eric Ballner, and Ian Revel on the call for you. And it's a beautiful afternoon for baseball.
Glorious day up here at Sturt Baseball Club. And once again, Chunky just keeps throwing strikes.
Here's a hard hit ball over towards right field. Should be playable for Peter Pake. He makes the play. And it's not just throwing strikes. He's not burning a lot of pitches. 125 is the maximum, and he is on pace to get through that easily.
He is Mr. Efficiency right here.
It is quite unbelievable, isn't it?
It is. It is. You know, 46 years of age, just to be able to do this at this level, crazy.
Was he always this competitive when you were playing against him in the 90s in local ball or with the Giants or in the ABL?
He's 12 years younger than me. He got signed. He went over to America.
He did with the Dodgers.
Yes, and then he got traded around, and then yeah, then he started a family. Had a few years off, and now he's back. But yeah, he was lights out in his younger day. Had a nasty splitter.
Was it just deceptive? You thought it was coming in hard and it just disappeared?
It just
was it firm?
It was firm, but it just snapped so hard.
Neutralizing the threats of this Sturt offense, a team that has 10 players with 20 RBIs in their lineup. Well, actually, that's mathematically impossible. They have 10 players on their roster with 20 RBIs. You can only put 9 of them in the lineup, but they're there.
Yeah, they are.
Brebner Russ, hard hit ball, left field. Is it going to fall? It does. Loops into the corner. Jackson Brebner Russ will step into second with a double. The Caps' favorite is 2 for 3 with an RBI, a double and a single. Goodwood tacked on one of their runs with 2 out hittings, and now they're going to have a chance for Sturt to do that.
This is the maturity of John Challoner right here. He's got 2 outs. He gives up a double. It doesn't affect him.
He looks the same.
It does every time.
Mitch Lightbody steps in, the Adelaide Giant. 0 for 2 in the game. He's grounded out. In his last at-bat, he had runners in scoring position, and he just kind of nubbed one right back towards the pitcher. Or to the first baseline, sorry.
Yeah, Mitch needs to get hot here right now.
Again, soft contact. Child in foul territory, looking for the ball, makes the play. And once again, Goodwood get into a little bit of trouble, but John Challoner gets them out of trouble. They've had base runners in all but 1 of the innings, but they've only scored 1 run so far. We've played 6, 3 to go. 3-run lead. Peter Paik leads things off. He's 0 for 2 in the game so far, but what a spectacular season this rookie has had. Player that's broke through the ranks. Goodwood's done such a good job of finding that blend of youth and experience. There's a lot of experience on this team, but there's some kids breaking through that when the old guys go away, they'll hope that the young bucks can continue a very nice stretch of dominance for the Indians. Goodwood have been to back-to-back grand finals in the final series that have been played. They've been to 3 straight. They've won 1 of them, but they've lost in back-to-back. They were around the mark every year. Paik down the right field line. That one goes foul. Josh Tyndall still on the mound for Sturt. Stephen Welsh had a first inning 3-run home run That's the difference maker, and since then, only a 2-out hit to Jack Bushel cashed in another run. Pake jammed in the air. Brebner Russ calls everybody off, makes the play, 1 down. Just 1 hit coming from the bottom 4 in the first 3 times through. But a combined 7 for 14 with a walk for the first 5 in the lineup. That's Cakebread, Bushel, Moore, Welsh, and Child. Again, no Jeremy Creswell, out with a hamstring injury. He's at the ground. 1-1 in the series. Sturt won game 2 yesterday to force this game 3 by a score of 7-1. They scored 6 runs in the 8th inning in a 1-1 game at the time. Goodwood, relentless with the bat in game 1 as Cakebread takes a pitch. They had 16 hits, only 2 extra base ones, but they had 16 hits in game 1 in a 6-1 victory. Cakebread stays alive, chops it foul. Oh, 2 count. Tyndall been battling away since that point. He has kept Sturt in this game, just trying to keep them alive long enough for one of those trademark Sturt big innings, but they're running out of time to do it.
Getting very late in the game.
I think that just fell out of the hand of Josh Tyndall.
Yeah, there was a breaking ball that's just flipped out the back of the hand and gone wild. He's thrown a couple of those today, but the beauty of it is that you can do it with this backstop. Nobody's running on you.
You can see on your screen how close the scorers are. The umpires are literally, what, 4 or 5 feet from the backstop?
That's right, yeah. As I said, I thought it was crazy at Woodville. We had a close backstop, but this is really crazy.
Cakebread to right field. Nucky makes the play.
Cakebread's just got enough on that. He wanted to get it down, and it's just lifted it a little bit too much, and Harry's charged in on it and taken an easy catch.
We were worried about the production that would be lost from Jeremy Creswell in the lineup, a guy that hits .463, has a bunch of RBIs. Well, Jack Bushel's 2 for 3 with an RBI, so
he's stepped up.
I don't really know if you can do much better than that, to be honest. Well, I guess he could go 3 for 3, but what a game and what a season Bushel has had. This one in the air, Tyndall already walking off the mound, and it's an easy play. Both pitchers very efficient in their pitch counts. Lightbody makes the play. It's the theoretical 7th inning stretch in a 4-1 game.
Josh Tyndall would just be wanting to take that first innings back right now, big time. Can I have that time again?
Around the grounds update, West Torrens have just taken a 5-3 lead. Mitch Neuenborn with a hit and an RBI. West Torrens up by 2 in the 4th inning. Meanwhile, Goodwood, they are riding a great start from their veteran by every sense of the word, John Challenor. He's allowed just the 1 earned run. They've put themselves into a little bit of trouble, nothing too threatening, but Sturt unable to cash much in. And right now it's 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and just the 1 strikeout, but 79 pitches, through the 6 innings.
And that's just the maturity and the experience that John just brings to this game. You know, he might get tagged once throughout the whole year, and I think it happened last year in the grand final, unfortunately, but I had him in the preliminary final game against Henley Grange last year and was just in awe that a guy of his age was just still able to throw a complete game. Some bad batting from Henley and Grange got him out of some situations. They were swinging early in counts, which helps your pitch count, but he just keeps pounding them out at the plate, gets into trouble, knows how to get out of trouble.
He's just so quick.
Oh,
I mean, like, in terms of time between when pitches throw.
He's a dream bloke to have on the mound because you're not going to be out there for more than 2 hours. I'm not even sure what sort of time we've had at the moment, but...
well, we started at, what, 11:30? We're an hour and a half in the game so far. We've reached the 7th, yeah, bottom 7.
We could be out of here in 2 hours.
Well, now we're going to be out of here in 4, but thanks for that, Rev. This is going to extras, and it's going to be like an 11-8 game. But
it's one of those things that as umpires, you know, you talk about it. Hey, this game's going really quick. Bang, something happens. Maybe I've just given the stir up to Sturt Baseball Club right now.
Angus Roger up to bat. What an atmosphere at Sturt Baseball Club today, by the way. They got a little DJ booth and music playing in between the innings. People huddling for shade all around the grounds. That's where they are right now. It's going to get louder, I think, as the day goes on, because the women's Division I Grand Final is coming right after this game, starting at 3:30. Glenelg, the defending champs, versus Sturt. We'll have that game for you as well, as Angus Roger swings through the pitch. And that'll be a big one for the club down in Sturt, having the Division I final down here. That women's team has been great all year. They've also won one game, but Glenelg have found some form, and it's going to be a great tussle.
They certainly have, and just want to have a big shout out. Oh, and
Angus
unfortunately,
Roger swings and misses.
Angus Roger swings over the top of that ball. I just want to shout out to Jessica Maslin. Played in the softball grand final last night. Got up over West Torrens 2-1. Couldn't celebrate because she's going to be playing in the women's Division I grand final here this afternoon.
Well, how about this? Gemma Letton also played on that Port Adelaide team and won the grand final. So Gemma Letton on Sturt, Jess Maslin on Glenelg. They're going head-to-head today. One of those two women is going to win a Division I baseball and softball grand final on the same weekend.
That's crazy.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Both those players in the Open Women's Baseball State team. Swing from Simon Adkins over to short. Bushel across the diamond, called safe. It was a bang-bang play. Ian Revel give it a nice little cheers. I think it was for the umpire.
That is for the umpire. He's made a great call. As I said, Simon Adkins got some serious pace, and he's just put that ball. It was a big bounce to shortstop Jack Bushel. But yes, Simon's just got the pace.
He's reached twice now on infield hits. One was off a bunt, and then there was that one, and yet he was just there. Tie goes to the runner.
Oh, don't let me hear you say that. Ties don't go to the runner.
They don't?
No. Oh, and look at this. A little bleeder. A little bleeder. Is he going to extend to third? Yes, he is. This could be a big play at third base all the way
he
down.
He slides in safe, and they're stretching it to 2 and called out at second. So it was a big place at third base. But Sonny Beaumont, for the second time today, is going to be gunned down at second base.
Steph couldn't get Simon Atkins at third, but he's peeled one off to second base, and they've got Sonny Beaumont trying to extend that single into a double.
Wow. Stephen Welsh, you're going to watch the throw. Here's Adkins stretching this out. He gets in there easily, but Stephen Welsh wasn't even thinking about the tag at that point.
He knew that Simon was in, and he basically gave up that runner at third, and he just thought, yeah, I've got a chance at second here.
But how that changes, because now instead of 1 out and runners on the corner, it's 2 outs and a runner on third. A fly ball would have cashed in a run with just 1 out. That changes everything. So 2 outs on the board right now and a runner on third.
Goodwood just seemed to know how to control this game today. You know, things haven't gone their way all game, but they'll grab an out just out of nowhere.
Defensively, they've thrown now 2 runners out, one from Welsh over towards second base, one from Riley Moore. And then Dylan Child had that great diving catch.
That was a break, that one in the first innings. That ball gets past Dylan Childs. That's extra base hit. Runners in scoring position, but ends the inning on a double play.
So Goodwood defense has been the big story in this game. We talk about the bats of these lineups all the time, but it's the small ball that's making a big difference. And a little bit of breathing room from Jack Bushel's 2-out hit. Tyler Chappell trying to do the same thing right here.
The situation, you look at it right now, if they've got runners at second and third, 1 out, you can attack. Get that fly ball, score a run, brings the score back to 4-2. Tightens the situation a little bit more, but now that play by Steph Welsh just broke Sturt's back.
3-run home run in the first and a 3-run lead. Math's simple. Tyler Chappell has a walk, and how big now is that gun down from Stephen Welsh on Sonny Beaumont? It would have been bases loaded for Harry Nucky, who's had 3 pretty good at-bats so far. He's got 1 hit. It's the 4th time through versus John Challinor. What have they learned this time around?
We talk about taking moments back, and you know Josh Tyndall would have loved to take that first innings back, and I guarantee that Sonny Beaumont would have loved to take that back at second base.
Well, they're going to have a quick chat with John Challinor.
Just give him a little breather. No one's up in the pen, so they've still got the confidence that John's going to get through this. No dramas. Just upset the rhythm of the new batter, or the batter coming into the batting box, Harry Nucky.
Well, this is prime Sturt rally territory. If Nucky can get a hit, then you have McCardle, Ridding, and Jackson Brebner-Russ following. This is how Sturt does it. They had that big 2-out rally yesterday that saved their season in the 8th inning when they scored 6.
And Ben Wigmore, he's been around the game long enough, played in the Olympics, played ABL, been coaching Goodwood Baseball Club for a long, long time. He's just trying to break up this momentum that, you know, he feels that Sturt have got a bit of momentum.
He's taking as much time as he needs right here.
Now he's trying to get the momentum back his way. And as I said, he just waited for Blake to come out.
So you got an Olympian, you've got a College World Series winner, and you've got John Challenor, who's been around for yonks as well. How much experience is on the mound, right? It was on the mound right there.
That was a lot of years right there.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. They do. As I said, that's just well prepared by Ben Wigmore.
So would they have gone out just waiting to say, we're not leaving until the umpire takes us off, basically?
Exactly, yeah. Just to change the momentum. Sturt have got momentum right now.
Just trying to let the umpire do their job, basically. First pitch strike, and it's a big first pitch strike on Harry Nucky from John Challenor. This will be a moment we'll circle in the scorebook, regardless of outcome at the end of this game. Nucky, hard hit ball, left field to the wall, and it drops in. Harry Nucky, a ground rule double, and that might be some reprieve for Goodwood, to be honest. It only is going to score 1, but Harry Nucky brings Sturt a little bit closer.
That ball stays in the park, that scores another run. That scores another run. Now we've got a 4-3 ball game.
Yeah, Tyler Chappell probably flies around third, but because it's the ground rule double, he can't advance past third.
Just have a look at this replay. Does this ball bounce through the fence?
Ooh. Or does it bounce over?
Yeah.
Yeah, does it go through that last frame, or?
Still no action in the bullpen. As I said, they've still got a lead, 4-2.
Big at-bat here as Jordan McCardle, they didn't want to take their chances, so they just have passed him up. So Jordan McCardle, an intentional walk, goes to first. So they'll leave it with bases loaded versus Dylan Ridding. Ridding down the line. Oh, a great play. They're going to try to make the play across the dime. It got him. What a play over at third base. Stephen Welsh saves a couple of runs with the play of the game so far. World class.
I'm calling this right now. That play, I reckon, has just won the game for him. That is just an absolute cracker from the veteran at third base.
He had no business. Nobody has any business making that play. That's not from the infield. That's from the outfield. He slides, gets up, back foot, guns it down, and 1 run had already scored. We got to see that replay again. That is as good as a play as you'll see in baseball.
That's just the experience. He knows where first base is. He's got the confidence. Yep, I'll get that ball over there. Ball's been hit to me pretty hard. Got him on a bang-bang. Great call by Jack Treadrake.
And if that throws off the money or sails, it's another run that scores. They for sure had scored 1. Instead, Stephen Welsh takes a run off the boards in a remarkable play.
That ball goes wild. We've got a 4-4 ball game. You've got runners at third and second.
Well, for sure he saved 1 run.
Yeah. Oh.
But how's the respect of Goodwood to Jordan McCardle? They just say, yeah, we're going to walk you. And you know what? We'd rather take the chance with the guy that's hitting 372, who did his job.
Yes. Ben Wigmore, he's earned his money right there. Hey, yeah, we can't afford to give Geordie. John makes one mistake. Geordie puts the ball out. We're 5-4 down.
That.
Right. Or 4-all. It would have been 4-all. But he walks him, gets the lesser batter. Steph Welsh just makes the play of the series.
Well, Stephen Welsh, he's made 1, 2, 3, 4 key plays in this game. So he's made 3 plays on 5-3 putouts. But he made, remember, think back though, earlier in this inning, this is the Stephen Welsh inning. Sonny Beaumont had that hit. He tried to stretch the single to the double. The throw goes to Welsh to try to tag out Simon Adkins, and Stephen Welsh doesn't even try to make the tag. He has the awareness to take the ball. He throws it to second. They get Sonny Beaumont out. That saves 1 run. right there because the double would have cashed in another run.
Correct.
Then on that one, he saves another run. So Stephen Welsh saves 2 runs in 1 inning.
He's just...
And he's hit a home run in this game, by the way, with a 3-run shot.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Riley Moore and then Stephen Welsh due up. This is the Stephen Welsh show. Welcome.
And after an innings like that, Goodwood go bang, bang, bang and score 2. And just shut Sturt down right here. That's just the way this game's going. Confidence is sky high for Goodwood.
It's coming down to the wire. 101 pitches now for Josh Tyndall, and this is his fourth time through the lineup, sorry. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think Josh is going to get the full game here.
Stephen Welsh is unbelievable.
Both Eric and I are just in awe of what we're just saying. Just amazing baseballer. Josh Tyndall needs to really shut Goodwood down here right now. This is critical. Can't afford to give up any runs right now.
I'm still in awe of that play. It wasn't even, it's not like it was in the infield, it was in the outfield.
And Steph just had the presence. Yeah, I'm gonna play back on that ball. It's been hit hard enough to me. I'll field it, get a quick release, and bang, bang play. Great call by Jack Treadray.
If you missed it, just go back a few seconds in the stream. But I have a feeling we'll be cutting that one up and putting it on socials almost as soon as this game ends. That was wild.
It's almost like last week, you know. Wilson Lee was the highlight reel last week. Today, it's Steph Welsh.
I almost like games like this a bit better because he's done it with the bat, he's done it defensively, although Wilson Lee also pitched the game before, so it's really hard to differentiate. But what a stand-up performance. Welsh had a couple doubles yesterday in game number 1 in a big win.
You just can't put him away. He just keeps coming at you. He'll keep getting the hits, but the plays that he's made, that's the match winner today. Tom Winter's just come out for a quick chat with Josh Tyndall. Once again, just like Ben Wigmore, settle him down. Seems to have had the right effect. Gets the first strike across the plate. Josh needs Steph to roll over one, get a double play. Need to get out of this innings without giving up any more runs.
Welsh was looking to add more to the tally.
That's a good breaking ball. Steph's probably looking for a fastball in that situation, but he's got the breaking ball and he's just rolled over the top of it.
He's so good.
Oh.
0-2 count, though.
Josh needs a good pitch here. Just left that one up a little bit, trying to get Steph to swing at that and pop it up, but Steph's such a good hitter, knows his zone perfectly. Probably one of the best batters knowing his zone. 1-2 count.
Welsh spanked it, but foul.
Got his hands out in front of it, and he's pulled that foul down the first base line.
He was on Team Australia for a decade. Hit home runs in World Baseball Classics.
If I was pitching in this situation right now here, Eric, I'm a fastball slider pitcher, almost backdooring him with a slider, try to get him on the outside edge. He's gone fastball.
Welsh just battled that one away. Looking for that pitch. What's Stephen Welsh looking for?
The way he's playing, I don't think it's going to matter. He just gets something, he'll see it, and he'll just swing and bang. It could be a 4-bagger or a double or a single. He's that hot. 2-2 count now. Josh nibbling away on the outside edge there.
You can feel how big of this at-bat is. Welsh, hard hit ball, deep. That's a no-doubter. 2 home runs for Stephen Welsh. 4 incredible defensive plays, and Goodwood are up 4.
Unbelievable. That, as I said, Steph Welsh has saved Goodwood their bacon in the bottom of that last innings with some great plays. And now he's just added to the tally. And I think you'll find that that'll be the end of Josh Tyndall. Josh would be very disappointed. That ball was up straight into the power hitting zone of Steph Welsh.
Stephen Welsh has 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and he saved 2 runs at least defensively. This is just...
It's a mirror image of last week's Wilson League show. It's a Steph Welsh show right now.
Wow.
And this bloke wants to retire. He's got years left.
This is ridiculous. That is one of the craziest... This is the Stephen Welsh show. I can't believe it. Well, I can. But Stephen Welsh is just put Goodwood on the verge of a grand final. Unbelievable.
An extra 2 runs for John Challoner right now has just made him 10 foot tall. He ain't giving it up.
Hunter Mitchell will take over the reins. A young kid breaking through. When he's throwing strikes, he's as hard as there is to hit in the competition. He's got 16 strikeouts in 9 1/3 of innings that he's worked this year. He has 13 walks, though, and that's the book on him. He's a young kid. He's learning his craft.
That's it.
He's got great movement on his stuff, but can he throw strikes?
As I said, he's been brought into a pressure situation right here. He's got to shut Goodwood down so that Sturt can get into the lineup and get the bats going. So this is really critical that Hunter just keeps throwing strikes. He throws hard, so can't afford any walks right here.
They have got Stephen Welsh today.
Oh.
Update over at Henley and Grange. It is 9-6 in the 5th inning. West Torrens, by the way, Goodwood, they played West Torrens last weekend. Goodwood scored 23 runs in the game, and they lost both of them. That shows how hot West Torrens' offense is. West Torrens, they went up 9-3 in the 5th inning, but Henley and Grange have drawn their way back. Griffin Weber has hit a 3-run home run to make it a 9-6 game. So it's the bottom of the 5th. Henley and Grange are facing elimination right now, too. Will Corticus, 9 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned. James Snellgrove now in the game. On the other side, Jordy Gross allowed 4 earned runs. Landon Hernandez, 5 earned runs in 2 innings pitched for the reigning Caps medalists. So things have gone topsy-turvy. West Torrens, in the last 2 weeks, have made a lot of good pitchers look bad.
You are right on the money there, Eric. Right on the money.
They are getting hot with those bats, top to bottom.
And right now, with a 6-2 lead, that swing by Dylan Childs, you could just see that he's been freed up. Hey, we're 4 runs up. Open the shoulders up. Let's have a good time here.
Freedom.
Yes.
Dylan Child hitting 377 on the season.
He's had a good year. As I said, 377, that's great numbers.
Flared out towards right field. Nucky makes the play. Well, I called it early, but he was always going to make that play. And it's 1 down.
I'm just looking at the batting averages of the Goodwood lineup.
Yeah, find one bad one.
It's nowhere to be found. As I said, all their top hitters are just doing extremely well.
In their lineup, I think it's Owen Hughes who has one of the low. No, go down below that. Maybe it's Peter Pake who's hitting 330 of their regulars, because normally Jeremy Creswell's in Feebig, wouldn't normally be playing. That is their worst average. As a team, they bat 355.
And when you got batting averages like that, all you got to do is get your pitchers on song, and you're going to win a lot of games.
Hutchings has a double. The big inning, though, is that bottom of the 7th, where Sturt had the bases loaded. Stephen Welsh threw out a runner at 2nd. He made that great play at 3rd. But also don't forget that hard hit ball from Harry Nucky on the double. It's a ground rule double. It would have scored another run had it not been a ground rule double. Nothing Nucky could have done. That was a great hit from him. So Sturt just kind of fallen on the wrong side of those 50-50 plays. Goodwood, credit to them, taking away them defensively too.
Just not getting any luck. As I said, that Harry Nucky ball stays in play. Tyler Chappell scores from first. We got a 4-3 ball game. Now, unfortunately, yeah, we have the Steph Wilkes show going on, and it continues to go on. Comes up to bat, bangs out another home run, puts him another 2 runs up.
Well, it's another walk, so 1 runner on for Owen Hughes, followed by Tom Fiebig. Sturt still very much can get this. They have 6 outs to play with, and they can put up big numbers, but their time is going to become an enemy soon. Runner is going. McCardle from the knees, good throw over, and that one scoots away, and now it's a runner on third with just 1 out. So Matt Hutchings, who can steal a lot of bases, he's usually among the league leaders. You kind of figured he was going, is now at third.
I just watched Matt Hutchings when he got to first. He extended his lead because Hunter Mitchell just wasn't checking him. And even prior to Hunter even starting his motion, he had second base. Took it easy.
That ball clunked off Tyler Chappell. I think he's just feeling a little bit ginger after that. Hughes returns to his at-bat. Game still slammable, but this might just put it slightly out of touch.
Yeah. This run here, 5 runs, that's going to be the killer.
Well, you called it at the beginning of the inning. You're like, yeah, you know, Welshie takes away a couple runs. This would be classic if they just put on another couple this inning. Well, Stephen Welsh has done that. 5 RBIs, 2 home runs on the day.
Well, crystal ball's worked well.
Ball is going to find a gap. It cashes in the run. Beaumont cuts it off. It's a single and an RBI from Owen Hughes, and now there's some distance between Goodwood and Sturt.
Sturt had to make that change with the pitching, and yeah, they brought on Hunter Mitchell. He's only young, but you know he's going to learn from this, gain some experience. Might not be Sturt's day today.
Goodwood's hitting is relentless.
It has been.
Tom Fiebig 0 for 3.
And that's the beauty that their lineup. You can have a guy that goes 0 for 3, and no one cares. The rest of the team's doing their job.
But that Stephen Welsh play will be the one that we'll be talking about for a while. Someone's already commented the exact timestamp of the stream it's at. Just go click that. Thank you to the gentleman that posted that, by the way.
Geordie McCardle wanted that pitch, just a big sigh. Blake's got it down low.
Fiebig finds a gap, and the base hits continue. It's back-to-back, and now it's 2 runners on for Peter Paik. And now I think that makes every player, except for Peter Paik, the top 8 at least, all have a hit for Goodwood today.
Let's see what happens right here.
Peter Paik very capable. He's hitting .330 this year.
There you go.
He's due.
Yeah. Tom Fiebig, 0 for 3. Bang, gets a hit. Hunter's doing a great job here. He's really pounding the plate here, the glove. Just needs to get another pitch just to get that variation happening.
Strikeout pitcher. Like we said, 16 strikeouts in the 9 1/3 that he's worked during the season. He's been very good in Division II this year, Hunter Mitchell. He's also got some games, I believe, in Big League as well. Played in the Super League. Chop foul. Very entertaining game, though, but Goodwood might have just pulled away.
I think they have, yeah, as I said. that innings from Steph Welsh, and then he comes up and bangs a 2-run bomb. That just put the icing on the cake.
Just trying to take the doors off of it. It finds a gap. Runner getting the wave around. Owen Hughes will glide into home. Every player on Goodwood's lineup has a base hit. They have a 6-run lead, and now they're just finding gaps.
The whole Goodwood team right now is just riding on the back of Steph Welsh. Their confidence is up. All of a sudden, the hits are coming. Everything's freeing up.
Well, he got the party started.
He certainly did.
If Josh Cakebread can get an extra base hit here, that would mean that every player on Goodwood would have scored a run. Is that good?
That's crazy.
It was 4-2, bases loaded, and Stephen Welsh made that ridiculous play to keep runs off the board, and now Goodwood have responded with 4 of their own. And this is going to be a tall task, even for the likes of Sturt.
Certainly will.
Over towards first. Brebner Russ blocks it down. He'll step on the bag. Runners advance. So Cakebread, it was 2 for 3 entering that at bat. Grounds out to third. And now Jack Bushel, who's already got an RBI. He's got a single and a double in this game. He'll be the 9th batter to come to the plate in this inning.
Just watching the passion on Josh Cakebread's face. He's grounded out at first. JBR's made a good block, and Josh is just disappointed. And that's just what you want. Wants to succeed at every chance he gets.
Even though they've already put up 4 this inning.
Exactly. Exactly.
Takes a weird skip, and the backstop stays undefeated.
That backstop's not giving up on a run.
Ball drifts away outside. Big out here because Riley Moore and Stephen Welsh lurk behind Jack Bushel. Backstop, 2 for 2 in this at-bat. Good hitter's count for the youngster, the teenager, Jack Bushel.
Yeah. Hunter's got to put this ball over the strike zone. Can't afford to give up another walk, especially with who's coming up.
Right field, Bushel, is it going to find a spot? And it does. Bushel cashes in 2 more runs. It's a double and a 3-hit game for the teenager, an 8-run lead for Goodwood, and now everybody has scored. Who needs Jeremy Creswell?
Jeremy Creswell will be sitting back going, wow, my replacement is going to take my spot next week. That's crazy.
How about the day from everybody in the lineup? And this has turned into a big inning.
1.5 innings ago, we were a 4-2 ball game. And now
with
look at it.
Bases loaded for Sturt.
Exactly.
And a guy that's hitting 377 up the dish. Riley Moore, he's 1 for 2 with 2 walks, scored twice. In the middle of this inning, I'll go down top to bottom the performance of each of the Goodwood players in this lineup, but every player has scored. Riley Moore, he scored twice. Actually, that's not true. Bushel hasn't scored. I've completely lied. Jack Bushel has not scored, but he does have 3 RBIs, and he's got 3 hits and 2 doubles in an elimination game.
Yes.
So, Bushy, you got to score here. Now, Jack Bushel, he's made a couple nice plays over at shortstop as well. He's stepped in fine.
He's putting some pressure on Steph for MVP here today.
I say stepped in, but Bushel probably would have been batting. He was yesterday in the lineup anyways. Creswell would have been starting at short, but Bushel would have been playing.
Yeah.
Riley Moore just taking a moment here. I think
he's fouled that one ball down onto his leg.
And he had a leg injury earlier in the year, Riley Moore.
There'd be concern. One of the top hitters in the Goodwood lineup. Can't afford an injury. By the looks of it, about to go into a grand final series.
Don't forget here, if Riley Moore puts it over the fence, we've entered mercy territory.
Yeah, yeah. That's danger.
10 after 7, but Sturt will have a chance to respond because it did start in this inning. But
if John doesn't have to throw that extra innings, it makes him a bit fresher for next week.
well, Goodwood can taste it now. Just a huge inning to capitalize off the Stephen Welsh show. Stephen Welsh is standing on deck, by the way. Bushel on second. The quote-unquote weak link in the lineup hasn't scored. 3 for 5, 2 doubles. 2 out base hits that have scored runs for Jack Bushel. What a great performance from the kid. He got 2 hits off Rue in the Super League.
16 years of age.
And O'Reilly Moore swings through that, so the inning comes to an end. But the damage really was done. Jack Bushel provided the icing on the cake. This was a big inning. It started with Riley Moore walking. Stephen Welsh then hit a 2-run bomb to make it 6-2. Dylan Child flew out, but then a walk to Hutchings, then hits to Hughes, Feebig, Paik, and then a double to Bushel, cashes in some more runs. And Goodwood are in a great position, up 8 runs in the 8th. Now, before you just start thinking this is a lock for everyone back home, let's just think back to last week when Goodwood were up by 8 runs over West Torrens in the 8th inning, and then West Torrens put up a 10-run 8th inning, capitalized by a Max Stagg 2-run shot, and they were up 12-10 by the end of that. Sturt have that lineup that has that ability to put hits on, but John Challenor has been rolling, although he's been on the ropes in the last couple innings, the last one in particular with bases loaded. So before we write off Sturt, let's just keep in mind that we've seen some crazy rallies in this game so far, or in this playoff series, I should say, so far. Update from Henley and Grange, by the way. It's the bottom of the 6th, 2 outs over there. It's 9-6. West Torrens lead Henley and Grange. Thank you very much for joining us, Eric Ballner and Ian Revel on the call. It's been a fun one to be a part of. Just a special performance from Stephen Welsh so far in this game. So as it stands right now, if nothing changes, it will be Goodwood and West Torrens in the grand final next weekend, but still a bit of distance to go in Henley and Grange game 2. And still some time for this. They have more runs than outs to chase, but this is a Saints team that are the premiers for a reason. Jackson Brebner-Russ, he's got a single and a double. He's 2 for 3. John Challenor still on the mound.
It's going to be a long way back from here.
Well, they can start by a big pitch to left field, and Jackson Brebner-Russ has a single, a double, and now he's got a home run.
Will he get the opportunity to do the cycle today?
Well, even if Sturt go down, it's not this guy's fault.
No, but I'm just watching John Challenor on the hill, and it's like, it's not even phased. He's just given up a home run. Oh, well, mate, I've got 7 runs to play with.
Well, there's 1.
Yeah.
John Challenor has thrown 97 pitches to this point, so he's still got 28 now, 27 more up his sleeve. If Sturt can put up a little bit of a mounted rally in this inning and get to the bullpen, there's a little bit of hope. And I was saying before, as you were just taking a quick break, Rev, that last week, remember, Goodwood were up 10-2 in the 8th inning and they lost the game to West Torrens. Hard hit ball back to short. Bushel's got 3 hits in the game, and he's got a couple 6-3 putouts and make it a 3rd one.
Mitch Lightbody's hit that ball hard, and unfortunately it's just a one-hopper to Jack Bushel. Ball set up for him, easy play. Right now, Sturt put up another 3 runs here. 10-6.
Is that the target, you think? 3, if they could get 3 more here?
10-6. You almost got John out of the game. As I said,
Well, that might have them out of the game if they're scoring 3.
Yeah. Matt Watkins is starting to warm up. They know that he's going to get very close here.
Well, that's pitch number 100 out of 125 for John Challenor. Don't forget, this is the 4th time through the lineup. They have got a hit, a walk, and now a home run, and a couple hard-hit balls the 4th time through. And he pitched yesterday, John Challenor. Amazing, actually.
He's a freak. He is a freak. And to boot, he is one of the nicest blokes you could ever meet.
A lot of that kind of contact today,
Yeah.
even though that one goes foul.
Angus Roger was just off that pitch. 0-2 count.
Check, swing, didn't go.
We're in the perfect angle here, Eric, and Jack Treadray is in probably just as good a spot, and that is a great call. He didn't go.
He thought about it.
He thought about it. Didn't throw the bat enough at that pitch, and that's a great call. Here's another guy who's a veteran of the league, and he knows his strike zone so well.
Full count to Roger. 0 for 3 on the day. He'll stay 0 for 3, but he's on base.
Just got a little hiccup coming from John Challenor at the moment. He's given up a home run. He's now just given up a walk.
The 4th time through has been the more challenging one right now.
And right now you've got Speedy Gonzalez up.
Simon Atkins, you're absolutely right about that. He's got 2 infield hits in the game. Could you see him lay down another bunt here? I don't know if you can sacrifice yourself. Outs are so valuable right now, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, this isn't the situation to be doing that. You've gotta get yourself a good swing. Get yourself a hit. John's just slipping behind here. Maybe just getting a little tired.
Well, he's thrown over 125 pitches this weekend.
Yeah, he's gone over the 100 now, so for today. And right now, as I said, they're in a situation, John's got behind the count. Hey, I'll take a pitch. It's an extra pitch that he has to throw.
That was pitch 110.
So he's got 15 to go. If he gets a double play, he'll go into the 9th.
Sturt would be hoping they can get to Matt Watkins this inning.
Yes.
Still some length to get there. But a walk will help them with that cause. And now, with Sonny Beaumont coming out, he's been thrown out twice at second base. If they can cash in a couple runs here, then you got to start asking the question, don't you?
You do.
And it's not like Goodwood have to look far from when they've given up a big lead, have they? Although this is still 7 runs away.
That is just a massive out. Simon Atkins thought he had ball 4. He's dropped his bat, started to walk. Blake's called it a good strike. And now he's struck out for the 2nd out.
That is huge. He thought he had it.
Yeah. He gets a walk there. You're going to go to the pen.
First pitch swing, and it takes a weird hop off of Josh Cakebread. So now it's 2 runners on. And Tyler Chappell, who's had some good contact, needs to find a way to keep this inning going. That one just out of the reach. All the luck has seemed to have gone Goodwood's way in this game. All the bounces, that one didn't.
Momentum swings in games of baseball, they are so critical. And Tyler Chappell's been around the traps long enough. He knows he's got to take some pitches, work into this count. Get John Challenor as close to 125, so that gives Sturt a chance.
1-1 count. Another Caps medalist, John Challenor.
Yes.
Over towards second. Dylan Childs made a nice couple plays at first. I think he pulled up sore going down to grab that one, but it's a big out.
A big out there by Dylan Childs, but I reckon he's just jagged that left knee of his, slammed it into the ground, so hopefully he gets past that.
Well, it's a 7-run lead. Goodwood trying to hold on. They're in good position. We'll be back with the 9th. (10-3) game. Stephen Welsh has a couple home runs. He's got 5 RBIs, a bunch of defensive plays. He'll lead things off. Update from around the grounds, West Torrance. They put up 11 runs and we're into the 7th. This is unbelievable. They have got to both Landon Hernandez and Jordy Gross today.
Wow. I called the game with you down at Henley Grange last week. Landon was outstanding.
Max Stagg has 2 home runs.
It's crazy, yeah. There's a 17-year-old kid.
Max Stagg has 2 home runs. He's got 4 home runs in this series, including 2 go-ahead bombs. As Welsh comes up to bat, he's also hot. But you want to talk Max Stagg. He had that big summer. Obviously, he got put on the Team Australia Futures team. He had those big numbers with the Adelaide Giants, just 17 years old, invited to the under-18 selection camp for Team Australia. But he came back to club ball after that all ended, and he struggled in that first week back. And Tyrone Hambley said, hey, take the week off baseball completely. Yep. He did that. He's come back rejuvenated with huge numbers. Do you sometimes need that as a player, Rev? Just take a little bit of breakaway, reset, and find your passion again?
Especially when you're playing at that high level. You are dropping down a level, and then it's like your emotions are on top of you. So just take away from it. And Steph Welsh just got a little bit on that. Fouled that one down.
Yeah, because people would have come back and expected Max Stagg just to dominate right away. Well, he's now dominating, but it wasn't right away.
As I said, it just needed that week. Just needed that week off just to reset, clear the head.
It is an adjustment, though. Remember Rickson Wingrove, he started off the season for Sturt 1 for 20, and then he exploded. He hit 8 home runs. He had over 500 on-base percentage, hit 450. But sometimes maybe just that adjustment to the level takes a moment just to get your timing there.
It certainly does, certainly does. You're coming up against guys at that elite level that are throwing harder, and at the local level they don't throw as hard, so it does take an adjustment. You get your bat out a bit quick, bang, you're popping the ball up, you're grounding, you're running your hands over the ball. Just needs a bit of adjustment.
Welsh towards center field. It's angling away, and a great diving effort and a great catch from Sonny Beaumont in center field. You can't have everything, Stephen Welsh. You could have a lot, though.
He's human. He's human. But that's a great catch by Sonny Beaumont. And that's the beauty of what I can see with Sturt's outfield. They've got speed out there. They're going to run balls down. They're going to take hits away from people.
Dylan Child up to bat.
Hopefully Dylan Child has recovered from that hard hit to the knee on the ground.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. He just looked sort of awkward, didn't it?
Looking proppy.
He's had a good game, Dylan Child. Harry Nucky moving over to this in right field. Makes the play. 2 down. Hunter Mitchell looking a lot more settled this inning.
Yeah, as I said, Hunter's not that old. How old is he? 17? 18?
Yeah, 18.
18. As I said, it's a tough gig for a young kid like that to be out in this, premier competition of baseball in South Australia. And I'm going to call it. It's the toughest position to play. It's a pitcher.
Well, all the pressure and attention's on you, isn't it?
It is. Not only got to go throw strikes, you've got to get outs.
An excellent day of work here for the Indians.
And I'm impressed what I'm seeing here from Hunter. He's really attacking the plate. And as I said, it's pressure out there. He will throw the occasional wild pitch, but that's just the nature of the beast. He's only a young kid, still learning his trade.
Hutchings has a walk, a run, and a double in the game. Everybody's being productive. Welsh with 5 RBI. Jack Bushel with 3 of them, and Owen Hughes and Peter Pake have the other 2. 1 each on that equation on the ledger. Make it 2 hits for Matt Hutchings.
Here's the scenario next week, if everything goes to plan. Steph Welch and Max Stagg.
Well, we're going to get, if things line up, we're going to get a rematch of that first-round matchup that was Goodwood and West Torrens. They met last week.
Yes.
And they were 2 epic games. They went late. They were high-scoring. Both of the games were decided in the final innings. Jagged, awkward spot, light body reaching up, but Owen Hughes has another base hit. So if things hold on, we're just having a rematch of last week, and they were 2 epic games. And you're right, Max Stagg versus Stephen Welsh.
And you'd hate to see the scoreline next week being that big.
Well, I wonder, does West Beach change a little bit?
It does. It does. Depending on the weather, and if the wind's blowing in slightly, it takes the home run ball away.
Tom McGarry, by the way, also has 2 home runs. I should have mentioned him. He's got a bunch of RBIs.
Today?
No, he's only got 2 RBIs today. There were 2 solo shots from Tom McGarry. He's got 2 home runs, though, today.
Wow.
Max Stagg has 4 ribbies. Mitch Neuenborn has 2 hits and 4 ribbies. It's 11-6 in the top of the 7th there. Both those games had wild swings, and on the pass ball, both runners advanced to 2nd and 3rd. But last week, Goodwood and West Torrens, in the first game, West Torrens had that 7-run lead that Goodwood came back and tied it, and then Max Stagg hit the go-ahead home run. They wanted in extra innings. The walk-off bomb.
Just a point of note right there, the backstop's given up.
The backstop is no longer undefeated.
No.
It was going good. Tom Fiebig still battling away 0-2. Well, he strikes out looking with a couple runners on. And it'll be last chance to dance for Sturt. But what a batting performance from Goodwood. Here is their numbers in order. Josh Cakebread, 2 for 5. He scored a couple times. Jack Bushel gets the start at shortstop, the 16-year-old in place of Jeremy Creswell. He has 2 doubles and a single, going 3 for 5 with 3 ribbies. Both of those hits, they come on, or those RBI knocks, they come with 2 outs. Clutch hitting.
Yeah.
Riley Moore, he has 2 walks, a single, and 2 runs. He goes 1 for 3. Stephen Welsh, he goes 2 for 5, was just robbed of a base hit as well. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, big in the field. Dylan Child, he goes 1 for 5. He had a double. Matt Hutchings, he goes 2 for 4 with a walk. He scored a run. Owen Hughes, he goes 2 for 5. He scored a run. Tom Fiebig, 1 for 5, scored a run. Owen Hughes had an RBI, by the way, and Peter Pake, 1 for 4 with a run and an RBI. Defensively, Jack Bushel, solid at short, but Stephen Welsh with 4 huge plays, 2 of them spectacular. 1 to gun down Sonny Beaumont going in towards second base, and the other one, that amazing play. You can just check the timestamp on the comment section, and you can watch that. We'll chuck it up on socials after the game.
That's a major league play he made in that inning, and look what it did for the Goodwood team. It changed the course of this game. Changed the course.
It did. It was 4-2 with bases loaded at Sturt at the time, and had he not made that throw, it could have been a tie game. 1 run for sure had scored. It already touched the plate by the time he almost picked up the ball.
Yeah.
The other one was at third base, had the throw been off the mark in the dirt, just scooted away, and already 2 outs, and Sturt needed to be aggressive. They probably would have scored. Base hit, not dead yet. Harry Nucky. He's had a good game today. That's his 3rd hit. And John Challonor's pitch count keeps creeping up. Not dead yet.
It's a long way back from here, but as I said, part of the equation is getting John Challenor off the mound right now. If you can get him out of there.
And then get a whole other things go your way.
Yeah. Pressure will then be on the incoming relief pitcher, Matty Watkins.
And it's just, you only have to go back last week to when a rally's come, so it's kind of recent memory bias.
Yeah.
Get the pitch numbers at before this at bat, as it's now a 1-0 count.
In this situation right now, Jordy McArdle, he's been around the game long enough. He just knows that he's just got to really work the count here.
John Challenor before this at bat, 117 pitches. Now that's 120.
He's got 5 to go.
Matty Watkins warming up still. What a performance, though, from John Challenor, any way you slice it. McArdle fouls it away. McArdle's walked twice, one of them intentional.
Best case scenario for Jordy McArdle here right now is to get John to 124, throws his 125th, gets a hit, none out, first and second, new pitcher on the mound.
He's at 121 right now. Back-to-back hits with no outs would just give Sturt a little bit of hope. They just need something to hold on to right now. They're going to go down fighting. They've won a couple championships for a reason. Lays off of it, brings the count full, 122.
As I said, John's going to be able to get to the next batter if he happens to walk Jordy McArdle here.
And he does. So Jordan McArdle, 3 walks on the day. So 123 for John Challenor, and he won't even see 124. Dylan Ridding will come up to bat. He's got runners on first and second. Sturt need an almighty rally, but they've laid the foundations for it. And John Challenor goes 8 innings, 3 earned runs, scattered about 6 hits throughout the day, a lot of soft contact.
Outstanding, outstanding performance.
The 47-year-old is continuing to make us marvel. Big reception from the Goodwood supporters, and he'll hand the ball over to Matty Watkins. Watkins won the MVP of their last grand final win. He pitched in all 3 of those games. This year, 28 1/3 innings pitched, 4.76 ERA, a 1.59 whip. Walks 17, strikeouts 18. He's again a ground ball, fly ball pitcher. He's got 7 runs to work with.
Sturt have just got to be real patient here, real patient. Not an overly nervous situation for Matt to come into. He's been here before, but he knows he's got 7 runs in the bank, just sitting there that he can use. Just get the 3 outs.
Don't overcomplicate it, is what you're saying. Reaching about 2 p.m. local time. We're 90 minutes away from the start of the Women's Division I Grand Final. You can watch that on this Facebook page as well. And on YouTube, that will be a good one. Sturt hosting Glenelg. They've had some good tussles this season. Sturt have only lost once, but Glenelg has taken them the distance in 2 of those games and lost by a couple of runs. Bianca Smith will be starting on the mound for Glenelg. She hasn't allowed an earned run in the 2 playoff games that Glenelg have needed to win to get to the grand final. And Georgia Davis, who's the Caps' favorite for the women's, 15 years old. That's a pressure-filled moment for a 15-year-old on the mound in a grand final.
Sometimes when you're that young, you don't feel nervous because you just don't know what
Young
nerves
and
are.
dumb.
Yeah.
Not that George is dumb.
No, I wasn't gonna go there. But yeah, as I said, you don't have any emotion. You just go out there and throw the ball.
Well, it's a cool moment because Bianca Smith has been coaching and mentoring Georgia Davis since she was like 8 years old, and now they get to go toe-to-toe in a grand final. So that will be a special moment to watch. Sturt trying to rally late, down 7 runs in the 9th of Game 3. Their championship is on the line here, the reigning premiers.
I reckon the next 2 batters are going to be very critical.
Well, that wasn't the ideal start for Matt Watkins.
That was a bit rusty, a bit nervous. Sturt have just somehow got to get some pressure on Goodwood.
They have nothing to lose anymore, though, do they? Sturt.
No, 2-0.
Their dugout, you can hear, they're a bit up and about, just trying to get some positive vibes going.
Here's a scenario. Walk Ridding, JBR, who's running hot, hits a grand salami. We've got a 3-run ball game.
That is a scenario. That is a hell of a scenario. Already there's action in the bullpen down the right side for Goodwood. It's a 4-pitch walk.
And do you believe 3/4 an hour ago we were thinking this game was going to be done in 2 hours?
No, I was believing that, but then you said something, and then I stopped believing. But it's true. But it's got very interesting. There's been a lot of pressure points since that moment, hasn't there?
My God, there has. JBR's got to be real patient here.
He's got a single. He's got a double. He's got a home run.
And he's got to believe in himself that he knows that Matty can't beat him with the way he's swinging today. So be patient. And from what I'm seeing from Matty Watkins, it looks nervous.
So are you just waiting now if you're a batter for Sturt until he throws a strike?
You take it until you get a strike right now. You don't have to get that bat off the shoulder. You can see that Matty Watkins is struggling. Goodwood might be panicking. Yeah, there's your first strike. Doesn't change anything with JBR's time at bat here.
We hear Michael Dunn say it all the time too, and it's just 1 strike. You got 3 to work with for a reason. 1-1 count.
Yep.
That was a pitch that Brebnerus wanted, and he just was a little bit early on it, and he knows it.
And that's the difference between the pace that John Challinor throws and Matty Watkins throws. JBR was just way out in front of that ball. JBR's been around this game long enough. Nothing's going to worry him in this situation. See your pitch, hit your pitch.
Watkins looking for something, and Brebner-Russ is going to take time. 1 single, 1 double, 1 home run, 2 RBIs for Jackson Brebner-Russ today.
JBR's looking at Matty Watkins going, yeah, he's nervous out there. He's struggling, but I'm in control.
Reaches down and fouls off what probably was a ball, but at least he stays alive.
It's a pitch that you're just basically just going to try and get rid of. It's not something you want to drive, but mate, just foul it off. Get the next pitch. See what the next pitch brings. It looks like Tom Feebig's warming up in the bullpen for Goodwood, just in case. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Brebner-Russ had a pitch that he wanted, but he fouls it off the net just above him.
You know, I've spoken to a lot of coaches, and sometimes it's just about fouling off a pitch that you know that you don't really want, but just get it out of there. Keep your bat alive. And that's that pitch right there. Don't leave it up to the umpire to get rid of you.
He's looking for something tasty.
Yeah, it'll come. Be patient.
Watkins again settles. 3 straight foul balls from Brebner-Russ. Up the middle, it could be 2. Cakebread steps on the bag for 1. They've turned 2. 1 run crosses the plate, but that changes the whole complexion of the inning. Goodwood defense, double plays, tagging runners out. That's been the difference. It becomes a 10-4 game, but now it becomes incredibly challenging.
Not a great pitch for JBR to be swinging at. Pushed it to second base, and Josh Cakebread picks that up, touches second, and gets the double play. And you can just see the confidence now. All of a sudden, Matt Watkins, bang, he's hit the glove there. Got a strike.
And takes runners off the base paths. Light body in the air. Dylan Child moves over, makes the play, and Goodwood are going back to a grand final. A performance captained by Stephen Welsh, but engineered by the whole team, and it's a complete victory.
Steph was the leader today, but God, he had some followers. Everyone just got on his back and just went with him. Great effort, but I've got to take a moment just to talk about John Challenor. That was just supreme pitching for a 46, 47-year-old. Knows his body, knows what he has to do, and he did it to the best of his ability.
Goodness me, this Goodwood lineup just grinds at you, doesn't it?
Next week just becomes an attrition of pitchers. Who's got the best pitchers? Because they've both got good hitting lineups.
They both have good pitchers too, but the hitting lineups are just taking over right now.
Crazy.
And it is 12-6 in the 8th inning, West Torrens over Henley and Grange, so it feels like that's the way it's going.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be very interesting. Stephen Welsh, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. John Challenor, an epic performance at 47 years old on the mound. There's going to be a new premiere in South Australia this year. It'll be one of Goodwood, West Torrens, or Henley and Grange. We have a best-of-3 series coming at you next weekend, and we'll cover it for you. But, Rev, final thoughts on this game?
As I said, like Josh Tyndall, if he could take back that first innings, he would love to. But you just can't take anything away from Steph Welsh. It was just the Steph Welsh show today. Made some great plays, heads up plays, and even plays where he had a guy that was sliding into his base, and he's still got the know-how to get that throw to second base to get an out. And that just helps your pitcher out every time. Mate, kudos, Steph Welsh. Great day.
Well, that will do it for us. Goodwood win 10-4. They're off to the grand final. Stick around. We got the women's grand final coming up. Goodwood win today. They win the series 2-1.